A school in Alice Springs is asking the federal government to honour a commitment made by the previous government to pay for on-site accommodation for staff and students. Credit to the ABC and Alice Springs for covering this story. It is reporting that the new government won't commit to the proposal because all funding applications need to go through the proper channels. Senator Price says the crime rate in Alice Springs is sky high, and many of the troublemakers are young kids roaming the streets at night without supervision. This accommodation would, she says, give troubled kids an opportunity to break out of the cycle of truancy and crime, and would offer young women a refuge away from the threat of sexual violence. As if any young women in Australia need to be protected from that. Anyway, it is impossible to imagine any bureaucrat or politician finding a valid reason why this money can't be found. Let's bring in Senator Jacinta Price to ask where it's at. Senator, welcome.
Thank you for having me once again, Fred.
So tell us where this proposal for the school accommodation came from and where it's at now.
So in the lead up to the federal election, I had many conversations around the Northern Territory about what the needs might be for various different projects. This particular one was stood out for me because the Yipirinya Primary School is not just any school, it's not just any independent school either. It is a school that primarily is focused on Indigenous students and students from low socio-economic backgrounds. So the Indigenous students at this school come from the surrounding town camps within Alice Springs. It's also the Indigenous students that that the main schools, that the primary schools find difficult to school, so they are sent to Yipirinya School. It also takes care of kids from some of the communities nearby. When I say nearby, I mean as close as 80 to 100 kilometres away. So these kids are coming in on the bus early in the morning, spending an hour on that bus each way from bush and coming to do their schooling. So ideally, being able to provide these kids with accommodation on site allows them to focus on their education, on their schooling, and allowing for the opportunity for their teachers to be able to be there as well, provides a focus for them. And a lot of these kids come from really dysfunctional backgrounds. Their homes in the town camps are, now littered with alcohol because the alcohol bans have been lifted. We have a huge crime problem, a youth crime issue in our community. We have children as young as 10 years old, even younger, breaking into people's homes. And the reason for this is because it's just not safe being at their own homes. And so they spend all night out on the streets instead of in bed like my children have been able to do so when they were younger. Other people's children are able to do so, to wake up, to have a healthy breakfast and to be able to go off to school and have all the resources that they need for their education. These kids don't have that. So this provides that opportunity for them. It speaks to the huge crime issue. It speaks to providing safety, not just for the kids, but also for the Indigenous staff that also work at the school.